You are walking through a crowded street when you notice her standing by a coffee shop. She is looking at something on her phone, unbothered by the noise around her, and then she looks up. Her left eye stops you completely. Deep brown, almost black, warm like something familiar. But her right eye is a pale electric blue, the kind of blue you only see in shallow ocean water on a clear day. You've never seen anything like it. You are captivated. You walk over. You ask her name. She says Elena. You ask if she wants to grab coffee. She laughs and says yes. You spend 3 hours talking and she is brilliant. You exchange numbers. You go on dates. You fall in love. And luckily, she becomes your girlfriend. And then your alarm goes off. You just lie there, staring at the ceiling, heart racing, and you ask yourself, does a person like that actually exist? Statistically, yes. Of the estimated 108 billion humans who have ever lived, fewer than 800 were ever documented with this rare condition we are about to discuss. But that raises a more interesting question. What are the rarest things a human body can carry? What did our ancestors pass down through thousands of years of survival that very few alive today received? To answer that, we need to go trait by trait, and in the end, we will see a trait that's stranger than anything you could dream up. But first, let's go back to Elena. Most people are wrong about eye color. It isn't really a color at all. The iris contains pigment cells called melanocytes. The more melanin they produce, the darker the eye. People with brown eyes have a lot. Blue eyes have almost none. In complete heterochromia, one eye receives more melanin during its development, and the other receives far less. The result is a face with different colored eyes. The condition affects roughly 1 in 1,667 people globally. If you lined up every human being alive today, you would walk past approximately 1,666 people before finding someone like Elena. Because somewhere in Elena's lineage, her ancestors carried a small variation in the genes that regulate pigment distribution, and they passed it forward. Generation after generation, someone had brown eyes, someone had blue eyes. The variation moved silently through the family line until one morning it showed up in both eyes at once. But Elena's eyes are among the more common rarities. What we find next is something the outside world could barely explain. In the isolated hills of eastern Kentucky, there lived a family called the Fugates that turned blue. Not metaphorically, literally. Their lips, their fingernails, their skin had an unmistakable blue that deepened in cold weather and faded slightly in the summer heat. They were called the Blue Fugates by the people of the surrounding hills, who treated their color as simply part of who they were. The condition was methemoglobinemia, a rare blood disorder caused by a deficiency in an enzyme called diapherase. This enzyme's only job is keep the blood bright red. Without it, the blood turns dark, almost brown, and through the skin, that brown looks like blue. The Fugates were first medically documented by a physician named Dr. Madison Cowain in the 1960s. He tracked them down through rural Kentucky, drew their blood in a field clinic, and described it as almost black when it hit the air. He treated several family members with methylene blue, a dye that forces the conversion back to functional hemoglobin. Within minutes of the injection, the blue faded from their faces. For the first time in their lives, some of them saw their own skin turn pink. Elena's eyes, the Fugate family, both extraordinary, but the rarest condition we're about to look at makes both of them look common. It doesn't announce itself with color. It announces itself with pain, and it has no cure. Fibrodysplasia Ossificans Progressiva, often called stoneman disease, it is an extremely rare and disabling genetic disorder where muscles, tendons, and ligaments gradually turn into bone. This creates a second skeleton that progressively locks joints in place and restricts movement. Fewer than 800 people in all of recorded human history have ever had it. Meet Adam. He was born with slightly bent big toes, just a small curved bone. His parents were told it was nothing. Then one day, as a child, he bumped his shoulder. Normal fall, normal swelling. Except the swelling didn't go away. It hardened. When doctors scanned it, They found bone growing where muscle used to be. Every time Adam's body was getting injured, instead of rebuilding muscle, it was building bone. Real, mineralized bone. A second skeleton formed around the body, shoulders first, then the jaw, then around the lungs like a cage growing over a cage. Surgery to remove this new bone triggers the body to build even more. You cannot cut it out. You can only try not to get hurt for the rest of your life. There are children alive right now navigating this, who wake up in the morning and move carefully, checking what is still flexible, what locked during the night, whose parents were told at diagnosis, never injections, never surgery, never anything that breaks the skin, because the healing process itself will build bone at the wound site. Now here's what nobody tells you. You have been watching these traits as if they belong to other people. But look at what is actually happening in each case. The melanin distribution system that produced Elena's eyes, you have it. Right now. It is running in every cell of your iris. In almost everyone, it lands within the expected range. In Elena, it didn't. But the system is the same system. You are not watching a different biological process. You are watching your own biology at the edge of what it can do. The methemoglobin conversion pathway that turned the Fugates blue, you have that too. Your blood is producing methemoglobin right now. The same byproduct, the same pathway. The Fugates didn't have different biology. They had one enzyme running below threshold. You have been watching these people as outliers, but they are not outliers from the human system. They are the human system, at its furthest edge, past the point where the expected range ends, but still running on the exact same machinery you are running right now. The system that drives stoneman disease built your skeleton before you were born. In you, it stopped. In Adam, it didn't. Same system, different outcome. The rarity isn't in the trait, it's in the expression. We are all running the same code. Theirs just compiled differently. Every person you passed today was carrying something you couldn't see. So were you. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary isn't biology. It's which expression the body landed on. Elena's landed on one. Adam's landed on another. Yours landed somewhere in between, closer to the middle, further from the edge. But the range is the same. The machinery is identical. You are not a different kind of human. You are the same human, expressed differently. And if that idea unsettles you, that your biology is running systems you never chose, let's explore. What happens when something outside your body starts shaping those systems? Not a gene. Something you ate. 10,000 years ago, that's exactly what happened. A single crop rewired your ancestors, physically, behaviorally, permanently. Click here to find out how wheat domesticated ancient humans. This one changes everything we talked about.